33. This is a resolution proclaiming September 2023 as National Preparedness Month, and we'll ask Rachel Dion to come forward to the podium, and Supervisor Paulding will be doing the honors.
Thank you, Chair. It would be my pleasure to proclaim a resolution proclaiming the month of September 2023 as National Preparedness Month in San Luis Obispo County. Whereas many San Luis Obispo County residents remember the devastating impacts of past natural disasters such as the Spanish Ranch Fire, San Simeon earthquake, chimney fire, and the severe winter storms earlier this year, which caused significant flooding, power outages, and business closures in certain areas of the county. And whereas National Preparedness Month, occurring annually in September, creates an opportunity for every resident of the United States, including residents of San Luis Obispo County, to prepare their homes, businesses, and communities for any type of emergency. And whereas natural and man-made disasters can occur anywhere, at any time, and annually cause injuries, deaths, and billions of dollars of damage in the United States. And whereas the Federal Emergency Management Agency's READY campaign and other federal, state, local, private, and volunteer agencies, such as the American Red Cross and the San Luis Obispo County Office of Emergency Services, are working to increase public awareness on the importance of preparing for major emergencies. And whereas investing in our own individual preparedness and that of our families, businesses, and communities can reduce fatalities, injuries, and economic devastation in our county and nation. And whereas emergency preparedness is the responsibility of every resident of San Luis Obispo County, who are urged to make preparedness a priority, including but not limited to: 1, assembling or purchasing emergency supply kits; 2, making a comprehensive family emergency plan; 3, becoming educated in the types of disasters that can occur in San Luis Obispo County; 4, getting involved with local preparedness organizations and efforts; and 5, learning and knowing how residents will receive information during emergencies. Now, therefore, be it resolved and ordered that the Board of Supervisors of the County of San Luis Obispo, State of California, does hereby proclaim the month of September 2023 as the National Preparedness Month in San Luis Obispo County, and joins communities across our nation to promote preparation for natural and man-made disasters. Thank you.
Thank you. In honor of National Preparedness Month, we have a brief PowerPoint presentation just to show its importance to all of you, and we're very excited. So we're here today to celebrate National Preparedness Month, which has been observed each September in the United States since 2004, and it was really born after the September 11th terrorist attacks as a reminder for Americans of the need to be prepared not only for terrorism, but for natural and man-made disasters that we could experience in our county. So our goal for September is to empower our residents to take simple steps to prepare themselves, their families, and their businesses for any disaster that we may face here in our community. I'm just going to highlight 3 of some of our more well-known disasters in recent history here in our county to kind of remind everyone that it can happen here. And the first was the Spanish Ranch Fire, which happened on August 15th in 1979, and we just had the anniversary of this fire. It was off of Highway 166, and if you noticed recently, we've had quite a few fires in that area as well. This fire was important because it exhibited extreme fire behavior that resulted in the deaths of 4 firefighters from Nipomo, and it was responsible for changes statewide in how firefighters respond to fires. Immediately afterwards, CDF, which is now CAL FIRE, mandated that all of their firefighters carry fire shelters with them. So it changed emergency responder preparedness statewide. And then we have the San Simeon earthquake, which was in December of 2003. Any of us living here in this county at that time probably remember it. It was a magnitude 6.6 earthquake 7 miles northeast of San Simeon that resulted in the deaths of 2 civilians who were in an unreinforced masonry building, the Pan Jewelers building, which is pictured here in Paso Robles. This earthquake really changed the way that a lot of us looked at emergency preparedness from a responder side as well as civilians. Something significant was that it knocked out telephone communications within our county and really reminded us as responders and the public to have other ways to communicate in our families, to have a plan in place if you can't get a hold of your family. Nowadays, if cell phone towers are down, have a meeting point, have a plan if you lose communications. And of course, most recently, our 2023 winter storms from January through March of this year. We'd had over 1,000 reports of damages to properties and businesses, and I'm sure the actual number was much higher, but that's what was reported to our office, and about $7.5 million in federal recovery funds have been approved so far for our residents. And we also had 3 fatalities during these storms. Pictured here is Chimney Rock Road, which had a complete collapse, and this was significant because it completely isolated approximately 100 residents near Lake Nacimiento for over a month. Many of those residents were prepared and were able to sustain themselves for a long period of time, but it's kind of that reminder of make sure that you are prepared for you and your family for several days in case a disaster happens. And our final slide is how you can prepare, reminding everyone to have an emergency supply kit that can sustain your family for up to 72 hours with food, with water, with a battery-powered radio so you can hear emergency alerts, creating a family communications plan in the case that you lose phone communications, that you know if you have a meeting point or who's going to pick up your children, knowing how you'll receive emergency alerts during emergencies, whether it's wireless emergency alerts to your cell phone or reverse 911 messages, just being aware of how you will receive those notifications. And talking to your family members about your plan and making sure that they know what your plan is in case you need to evacuate or shelter in place. We have our new evacuation zone initiative that we launched this month of knowing your evacuation zone if you live in the Diablo Canyon Emergency Planning Zone, knowing your protective action zone for that as well, and making sure that the rest of your family does as well. And all of this information is available on our readyslow.org website on the prepare section. We have extensive resources for the public in the events that they want to go and prepare their families. They can find everything there. So thank you so much for your time, and we appreciate your proclamation of September as National Preparedness Month.
Thank you. Any additional public speakers? Seeing none, we'll close public comment, bring it back to the board. Supervisor Ortiz-Legg.
I haven't pressed my button yet. Thank you so much for reminding us and for all that this department is doing in regards to expanding the services, expanding the education, expanding our awareness in regards to being prepared at any moment. Just turn on the TV right now and you know that we all need to be prepared. So thank you very much.
Supervisor Gibson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate OES's active engagement of our communities. You know, a good, for instance, is Cambria, Fire Safe Focus Group there. Great concern about fire threat, and it's in that community a lot about preparedness, evacuation routes, you know, the whole before it happens kind of thing. So appreciate you working directly with our communities as well.
Supervisor Arnold.
Yep, and I want to thank you too. We really have a robust Office of Emergency Services here in our county, and lucky that we have our former fire chief working in the office as well, so he has had a lot of experience with many of the things you just showed us. But as a matter of fact, he was great. I had a text when there was a fire in Cuyama over the weekend. I think it started on Friday or Saturday morning. Anyway, I want to thank all of you because it's hard when you're trying to guess where you need to be concentrating, and a lot of disasters are total surprises. So I know your work is so important, and you work hard at trying to make sure that everyone's prepared for anything that's going to happen. So thank you.
Supervisor Paulding.
Thank you, Chair. I also want to commend our OES staff for the hard work they did during the storms in January, February, March. It certainly was eye-opening for me the first week on the job to deal with the impact of that magnitude. We cannot be too prepared. The reality is from an individual standpoint or from a government standpoint. And so I really do commend our staff for continuing to plan, and knock on wood that we won't deal with any other disasters here for the next few years. Thank you.
And I will also thank you for all your hard work in these. I mean, you are at the best when it is the worst. So thank you for all you do.